Good evening. It is February the 6th, 2017. We are finally getting into our first weekly weather briefing in the month of February. Sorry I wasn't able to make a video on Saturday. I have been very busy the past couple of days, so I was unfortunately disabled access to my computer on Saturday to be able to record a video. So we will be kicking it back up today, and we are doing it just in time for a possible a few severe storms to roll through the western Kentucky Purchase area going into the next 24 to about the next 24 hours or so. So good timing that I am being able to make a video ahead of this event. I know there's some talk going around town that there is a big, outbreak possible. Not going to be looking at anything like that. It looks like it's just going to be a couple of severe storms are on the table, and if they are severe, our main threats would be damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, and some hail. Some of that hail could be quite large. Remember, it is winter time. Most of the time, if we have severe weather during the winter time, our freezing levels in the atmosphere are very low because it is winter time. So it's pretty cold outside, even though it might not be very cold at the surface during these severe weather events. We do have cold air aloft, and that is helping to fuel these storms because it's helping those temperatures vary as they go from the surface up to the top of those cloud tops. So we do have the potential for some hail going into the next 24 hours. I think that would be the greatest concern out of all of these. And then, of course, some heavy rain. I don't think lightning is going to be a big deal with a couple of these storms. Right now, we do have a couple of light showers that are dotting the radar. A couple of them are just putting down a quick trace amount of rainfall on some area surfaces and roadways. So make sure that you're driving very safe out there this evening. We haven't had a lot of rain in the last couple of days, or the last week to be in fact, and so there is a lot of oil built up on those roadways from all of the tires. And if we get just those trace amounts, these little bitty showers that go over an area roadway, then we look at those very slick conditions on that particular roadway. So just drive safely if you are out there this evening. Let's go ahead and look at what we have in store for this week. Now, besides the the rain that we do have coming in tonight, we do have another little clipper system coming down, but it looks like it's going to skip our area. About a week ago, it was looking like we were going to have some snow for our area for about Wednesday or Thursday of this week. And just like every other system that the GFS or the European shows in the charts, it completely vanishes or it just misses us, which is what this one's going to do. And so our snowless winter continues. I say snowless. We have had a very little amount of snow this winter, but I guess I do need to mention that very small 7/10 to an inch of snow, or some of you got way less than that with that event around the January 5th, I want to say. We got that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get a whole lot more of snow this winter. It is going to be very tough over the next couple of weeks to get some. For one, the models are showing a lot of warm air over the next couple of weeks, but we do have a couple of cold shots, very brief ones. I don't see any long Arctic intrusions in store for our area. This cold shot looks really good, but this ridge is going to pump into the west, and a bunch of meteorologists are thinking, oh, this ridge pumping in the west, it's going to mean a trough in the east. Well, this ridge is going to be so large that it is going to cover about two-thirds of the nation. And that means that it's going to be covering the west and the central United States. And if I had to pick, I think western Kentucky falls in the central part of the United States. But that doesn't matter. It matters that that ridge is going to be pumping into our area several times, more than we will be seeing troughs over the next couple of weeks. We'll just have to see if every one of those little Arctic intrusions, if they do meet up with a precipitation event, then we might get lucky. But right now, it's not looking very good if you want some snow over the next couple of weeks. So that is that. As the system moves off to the east, it might blow up right over the east coast and become a nor'easter by this upcoming end of the week, early weekend, and they could see easily a 4 to 8 inch snow event right across New York up to Boston as it stands right now. Look at how quickly that trough is moving out of our area. It just barely scrapes us, and then it already moves off to the east. The trough would be where it's representing those blue lines. Those red lines normally equal some warmer air moving into the area, especially because they're moving from southwest to northeast. So that means that we do have some warm air being pumped in by this southeast ridge that has been so stubborn this entire winter. And I don't know if we'll ever see a winter in our lifetimes where that ridge is not stubborn to move, because I can't find any analogs where that ridge just wasn't there. It's always there. It just depends on if you have enough cold air to fight it. And we've had some cold air on occasions to fight it this year, but not a whole lot. Every time it's got cold, or we've had a trough, it's got really cold. But we've had a lot of warm air over the last couple of weeks too. Things get interesting around this upcoming weekend, where we do have a system that is going to, it looks like it's going to stall out over our area. A front stalling out during the wintertime is never good, but this one might be okay, because notice how we don't have any trough moving in during during the time that this system is moving in. It looks like we do have a couple of showers in the forecast for several days this upcoming weekend into the beginning of next week. Right now, too uncertain to show whether or not we're going to have, more rain situated on one particular day around next weekend or the beginning of next week. So I do have showers in the forecast for the end of next week, or the end of this week, beginning of next week. But it's going to be getting interesting when we have a very big Arctic intrusion coming south around the middle of the month. We also have a system that is going to be coming out of the southern United States. If these two can meet up, which the GFS thinks that they will meet up, but it won't be until it reaches the northeast, and we would just get rain. That is what it is showing right now. But notice how deep this Arctic intrusion is right here. Our temperature anomalies with this one are going to be very low in a part of the United States. Now, whether this trough is going to be situated over our region, whether it's going to be situated over the northeast like it looks right now, still in question. Remember, this is still pretty far out there in the weather world, so a lot can change. But notice how it just keeps this big upper level trough right over the Hudson Bay up here, and it just continues to show cold air across parts of the northeast and southeastern Canada. Whether any of that Arctic air can make its way down into our region, collide with a storm system, still very questionable. The GFS is showing a system around the 22nd of February, very far out. But the GFS does have a fairly active pattern on tap for the next couple of weeks, so that is good news if you want snow. We do have at least one good shot for some cold air. We do have some cold air moving in around Thursday, but that trough is very transitory, meaning that it comes and it goes very quickly, and then we see more Arctic air possibly around the middle of the month, but that means that we have warm air in between, so right now not looking very good for some snow. If we were to go ahead and look at snowfall totals with that little clipper system that is diving down from the northwest, it looks like it's going to put a good 2 to 4 inch, 1 to 3 inch snow event across portions of Indiana, Illinois, and southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and parts of Nebraska are probably going to get most from this event, as it will be weakening as it moves into the central parts of the Midwest, and then it will bomb out or strengthen very quickly. I don't know if it'll bomb out, but I'm just saying it's going to strengthen very quickly as it moves off into the northeast part of the United States. So before we get into any of the long-range forecasting, which I just pretty much gave you all the long range that you're going to get for this briefing, because I'm tired of looking at the models and seeing snow a week out and it being nothing. So every time I see snow in the models now, I just say the opposite. It's going to be rain, because I just can't handle it anymore. These models are about to give me a full-out headache. So we're going to focus on the rain moving in tonight and tomorrow morning. We got to focus on the short range before we get to the long range, and that will always be my method when it comes to forecasting. Now, temperatures through tonight are going to be rising, but as we get into tomorrow, those temperatures will be really getting up there. Notice how by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at temperatures already in the low to mid-70s in southeast Missouri, northeastern Arkansas. The model has been many of the models have been showing cooler weather for the eastern part of the region, and that is because it's picking up on rain around the 3 o'clock hour for this area. Now, if the rain moves out around 11 noon tomorrow, and then we will see and then the clouds go with it, temperatures will really dominate going into the middle of tomorrow afternoon. A mid-70s would be a good bet. Possibly we will break a record tomorrow. I think we will. But if those clouds stay with those, but if those rain showers stick around, or we see new thunderstorms forming on Tuesday afternoon, then it doesn't look like we'll reach the low to mid-70s. I know some of you spring lovers are really looking forward to tomorrow. At least we will be hitting the upper 60s is a good bet. Temperatures going into the Wednesday morning time frame will be cooling, and I don't think temperatures are going to move a whole lot. They're going to struggle to rise during the day on Wednesday. We will have a cold front moving through during the day on Wednesday as temperatures are trying to rise due to the heat of the day. And so those temperatures will be struggling to do so, but by Wednesday night, temperatures will be cooling down into the upper 20s to low 30s for Thursday morning. Now, that is one ingredient for severe weather. We got to have warm, moist air during the wintertime and springtime to have some severe weather. What we also need is some dew points, some high dew point values, and those high dew point values help moisten the atmosphere to the point to where we have enough moisture for those storms to work with. It helps them grow, helps them have a lot of heavy rain with them. It's better than just having dry air. Dry air doesn't fuel the storms at all. In fact, it makes some of those storms dissipate. So it looks like going into tomorrow afternoon, those dew points are going to be spiking. Normally about mid-50s or greater during the wintertime, for dew point values, are efficient enough for some severe weather. These are going to be going into the low 60s, and they will be spiking right ahead of that cold front tomorrow. We do see a little bit of a resurge around the 3 o'clock to 4 and 5 o'clock hour tomorrow, and then that front finally moves through, and some drier air will be moving in during that time frame. Let's go ahead and look at the future radar for this event. I will show you some other ingredients for severe weather that we do have for tomorrow. Not a whole lot of, but we will have it tomorrow. The future radar for tomorrow, according to this particular model, the models have not been having a great handle on these storms that are moving in tomorrow. I think we'll have a couple of rounds, one coming in late tonight, early tomorrow morning, as you can tell, picked up right here. And then I do think that we'll see another round moving in. This model is taking a while to load right now, but I have already looked through it, so I know what it is going to look like with this particular model. And then it ends up showing a few more showers and thunderstorms around noon tomorrow, possibly forming and then moving off to the east. We'll have to see if that happens. If we don't see any more storms form tomorrow, temperatures will be spiking into the in the low to mid 70s, upper 60s for sure. But if those temperatures, if we see precipitation reform, then those storms that do reform tomorrow will be forming in a very moist environment over southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, and they will be racing off to the east. Speaking of racing, that's what the winds are going to be doing tomorrow. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Winds for tomorrow are going to be, if we can pull them up here, let's see, I think I'm pulling them up on the 4KM model with the NAM run. And those winds tomorrow, man, they are going to be racing. They're going to be racing through tonight. Now, this is going to be in knots. Knots are not measured the same as miles per hour, obviously, but knots are measured a little bit lower than miles per hour. Let's show you the key down here, and let's take you through the 6 a.m. hour tomorrow morning. Notice how we do have those winds pretty much spiking during that time frame. They will be coming out of the south. That will be helping to make those temperatures warm tomorrow. And then we see those the core of those high winds moving off to the north and east. Will be hitting parts of Cleveland by around the middle of tomorrow afternoon. So I think our highest winds will be measured in the morning tomorrow, late tonight, and then those winds will be slowly decreasing throughout the day tomorrow. Let's go ahead and show you one last ingredient. This is what we like to call CAPE. This is a measure of energy in the atmosphere, and our CAPE values are going to be spiking around the middle of tomorrow afternoon. So that's why I'm saying if we see any severe weather tomorrow, it would be in the afternoon hours, just because we will be having, if we see any storms form tomorrow afternoon, they will be in a very good environment to become severe. So we'll see how it goes. Notice how those CAPE values will be hitting in the 2,000 to 2,500 joules range. So that means that we're going to be looking at a lot of energy for these storms. This will be sufficient enough for spring thunderstorms, let alone winter time. So we will have plenty of energy tomorrow, especially if we even see that sun break out some. It will help fuel those storms even more and energize the atmosphere just that much more. Let's look at those temperatures for the next upcoming 10 days. For sure the next week, those temperatures for Wednesday will be cooling from north to south as that cold front begins to move through. Temperatures by Thursday will be sticking in the upper 30s. It will be a cloudy, cold day, it looks like, for Thursday. We'll see how it goes. We might see that sun come out on Thursday if that system moves out pretty quickly. By Friday, those temperatures will be coming back up from upper 30s on Thursday to the mid-50s possibly on Friday, and then we will have to see how that system this upcoming weekend goes. Right now, looks like it's going to be going to our northwest, so it looks like we will have that front, that stationary front will be off to our north and west, so temperatures for this upcoming weekend are going to be pretty warm, and then those temperatures will become pretty uncertain going into next week as we have that next system moving in. Rainfall with this event is going to be around a half inch or less.